Welcome back. Now, we can't complain too much about the weather this week, but one thing that's causing some bother is getting a bit of shut-eye in all the heat.
Yeah, now we're only getting 2 days of it. 2 days of sunshine, 2 days of warm weather. Anyway, we're joined now by sleep expert Lucy Wolfe. Good morning to you, Lucy. And Lucy, I suppose Irish people were not really built for this type of weather. Does it really affect your sleep pattern?
Yeah, it really does affect our sleep pattern, and we're not really built to it. We're not used to it, and our houses are insulated significantly. So then when we get this heat spell for 5 to 7 days, it does have a big impact on how we can get to sleep and how we maintain our sleep as well. Heat and sleep, they don't go great together. We need a cooler temperature in our bodies to actually get to sleep with greater ease, and it's that causes the problem when we have this slightly better weather.
Yeah, I was kicking the quilt off me, I don't know how many times last night.
This is it.
Trying to cool down.
Yeah.
It's just our bodies can't cool down.
This is it, and I suppose the idea really is that you try and cool things down before you ever try to go to sleep in the first place, so you can kind of begin a whole process of firstly looking at your environment and cooling that down in advance. So it all starts earlier in the day, as you know all sleep things do. So, you know, pull down the blinds, close the curtains, so isolate the heat coming into the house itself. We often make the mistake of opening windows because it makes loads of sense, doesn't it, to open the windows, but that only makes sense when it's cooler outside than it is inside. So it might be worth, you know, having the windows open later on in the day, depending on the aspect of your home, you know.
Lucy, will you explain to viewers actually what's happening to your body when it overheats at night in the bed?
Well, you see, this is the thing. Sleep itself needs a cool core temperature. And, you know, there's an amazing process that happens as we get to sleep. You know, a cocktail of hormones, the sleep hormone melatonin, all kind of comes to the surface. And the drop in the body temperature is part of that impulse, the constellation of impulses that occur. And obviously, if our core body temperature is higher than it normally is and hasn't come down, it means that then it's really hard to get to sleep for that reason. And then, of course, because sleep is, you know, a bit of everything, environmental, psychological, we begin to be concerned about not getting to sleep, or the sleep that we're not going to get tonight. There's you last night, Martin. Yeah. And then for that reason, then we create the cycle of tension. Everything is heightened as a result of that, and we find it difficult to both get to sleep and stay asleep.
I have 3 granddaughters. I can imagine what it's like for my sons trying to get
absolutely. This week has been really difficult for a lot of the families that I'm working with. Now, listen, I suppose we take the good with the bad, right? And I suppose it is about preparation, though, because like that, there are things that we can be doing to try and help and to make it less difficult. So you talk about your duvet. We should probably just sleep under a sheet this week, and for whilst it's warm. And like with our children, we just strip them down. A lot of them are using sleeping bags, which I always think are great, but lower the tog to its lowest and maybe only have them in their nappy or their vest. So they were doing everything we can just from the way that we're dressed, you know, natural fibres, 100% breathable cotton, you know, that sort of dynamic. So that we're really doing everything we can to be proactive around making it less difficult at this time.
In terms of the type of clothes then you wear in bed, PJs on, off, what would you recommend?
It is a personal decision, isn't it, in general terms, but I suppose you're probably going to strip down a layer or two, or wear loose fitting pyjamas or sleep garments. But I think it's the materials as well, like to really look at that, you know, cotton, bamboo, breathable.
Yeah, I have that,
yeah, I think that's good. And then the same for your duvet. You probably don't need your 13 and a half tucked down.
On it rather than under.
This is it, but you see, the funny thing is when we're going to sleep, we do like something to cover us. There's a safety element as attached to that. So it's looking to swap out your very heavy for your summer or just a lighter sheet. Like sometimes with really young children, it's hard to get the tog for the sleeping bag. So just sometimes slipping them into a pillowcase, again, still covers them. They're not going to kick everything off.
Idea, isn't it?
You make sure safely, obviously, and fold it down. But it's just another way of keeping us covered, because of course it can be very warm as we're going to sleep, and then obviously the temperature drops as the night unfolds.
Yeah. The TikTokers would throw all kinds of advice at us, like, and some of it just won't work.
Yeah. What did you hear recently?
What was it? The bowl of ice in front of the fan.
Well, before TikTok were doing that, I've always recommended a frozen bottle of water in front of a fan, because obviously you can use a fan, which is a way of cooling the environment down, but sometimes we're just moving around hot air depending on your space. So actually a frozen bottle of water in front of the fan means you're moving around cold air. Or of course, if you've got a window open and it's cooler outside, you can use the fan closer to the window as as well.
Now, Lucy, for parents with toddlers or young
Yes.
kids, what would you recommend for them in the warm weather?
Yeah, so I suppose I'm always going to look at, all the aspects that inhibit sleep. So try not to eat too close to sleep time. And this is universal, adults and children, because digestion creates heat. And like we're discovering, heat and sleep are not friends, for example. So again, make sure that we're eating, large meals out, 2 or 3 hours before bedtime. Again, for both adult and child, like a tepid bath or shower. So, the natural response might be to have a cold shower or bath, but actually cold is going to create circulation, and that's the body's way of warming up.
Yeah.
So, of course, we want cool, tepid, which feels counterintuitive, but again, you're going to help to lower the core temperature. And like if you don't have the inclination to get into the shower or the bath, running your wrists under the cool water is another way of just helping to lower us down. Maybe the kids are in the paddling pool and things like that before bedtime. And, not forgetting your pre-sleep rituals where you're really focusing on, dimming the lights, because, the light is, again, not the greatest sleep friend. So lowering lights, dimming the environment, maybe adding extra time to the bedtime routine.
Okay.
All can help to stimulate that greater ease.
I mean, we're only getting 2 days of it.
I know.
we can calm down.
Nonetheless,
we'll be
2 days without
regretting.
sleep.
Yeah.
I'd nearly give out my PIN number by the end of the second night. Anyway, did you sleep well last night?
Yeah,
Lucy?
I actually did sleep really well. But again...
She practices
And I'm
what
like
she
her,
preaches.
I would sleep through a storm. So there you go.
Okay, well, I'm sleeping on the bed. We sleep in the garden, actually.
And just to stay hydrated. Because, of course,
hydrated.
that's another really big point as well.
All right,
Lucy,
Gormilla
good to
Lucy.
see you. Okay, after the break, we're making our own bug spray out here in the garden.
Yes, I know. We'll be right back. Stay with us.